Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to our webinar on how CIRA Analyst can help empower your IT and security team. My name is Eric. I'm a product marketing manager here at CIRA, and today I'm joined by my colleague Philip, who helps ensure client success. So let's talk a little bit about CIRA Analyst. So as organizations juggle the complex relationship of managing digital risk while undergoing transformation, we understand that every minute matters. Today, we would like to speak to you about a powerful tool within our cybersecurity awareness training platform called the Analyst. So what is the Analyst? The Analyst is a machine learning powered tool that helps your IT and security teams automatically action reported emails to save time. By using custom rules, you can identify, analyze, and respond to suspicious emails flagged by your team, closing the feedback loop, and continuing to develop a positive cybersecurity culture. So what kind of organization would benefit from CIRA Analyst? First, let's think about the distribution of workload when it comes to implementing an effective cybersecurity awareness and training program. Remember, these types of programs aren't just watching training videos to check the compliance box. They're meant to create a positive cybersecurity culture and encourage employees to signal threats. Awareness and training for end users only really accounts for a small fraction of their daily work. So while an individual might invest a couple hours a year on training and might signal the occasional email, the burden on IT teams within an organization is significantly higher. So with that in mind, the Analyst is perfect for those who have a high number of user-reported emails to review and are finding themselves unable to respond to each and every one of them. Those who are looking to see the types of emails that are bypassing your existing filters, such as your Exchange and Defender rules. Those looking to glean better metrics from the emails being reported. Maybe you want to use real fishes that land in your inbox, defang them, and use them in simulations. And also automatic solutions that can help fit your unique needs and processes. So the Analyst really is your next step in reducing risk and stopping an overall incident before it happens. And to do that, we have three major outcomes that we want to do. First, we want to enable you to save time by automating repetitive tasks so that security teams can focus on what matters. The second goal is to enable you to save money by reducing employee and system downtime and decreasing incident frequency. And finally, the Analyst will enable you to reduce risk by proactively identifying and managing cyber threats through engaged leaders and managers who effectively change and foster organization-wide accountability. With Analyst, CIRA helps organizations turn their employees into active participants in the discovery and resolution of phishing-based cyber attacks within those first critical minutes and hours. Our proven approach to measuring performance ensures that employees receive the right education at the right time, and that every minute spent on security awareness training delivers meaningful risk reduction. So we really want to minimize the tax on security program owners through automating manual tasks, simplifying the creation and implementation of risk reduction campaigns, and measuring program effectiveness to really pinpoint the areas needing improvement. And how do we do that? To enable those three outcomes, we trigger an automated positive feedback loop amongst users that affects behavioral changes. So in normal circumstances, a user may report an email and have it sent off to security for review. Oftentimes, our security teams don't really have the resources or time to address every single message, leaving users to feel like they've simply sent the message off into a void and they don't have any feedback on the outcome. By automating the response and identification of emails to users, you are providing that feedback as well as an opportunity to learn from the experience and engage with the platform. So here are a few of the more benefits of the Analyst. Not only can you report and get visibility on the types of emails that are bypassing your existing filters, you can action them in bulk. So you can, for example, purge them from all the inboxes of all your users. You can also review trends. If people are reporting the same type of phish, you can aggregate and get ahead of these incidents. And then some of the benefits that come through the magic of automation. We can assume that if an email was reported, it bypassed our existing filters in some way. A combination of our machine learning algorithms set by organizations can classify those remaining emails and give you the opportunity to develop a plan to respond to them. So let's take a look at how much time is being saved by using Cira Analyst. If we look at the typical organization, we see that for about every 1,000 employees, you can expect about 150 to 200 emails, let's say 166. So at about 10 minutes per email, that means 27 hours of your IT security team's time is saved every single month. While the analyst can't do everything a human can do, it can automate the repetitive tasks so that you can focus more effectively on the important items and quickly. They also operate in parallel of your existing teams of processes, with the advantage that the Cira analyst scales more than a full-time employee would. So let's jump into a demo with Philip and take a look at how the Cira analyst looks in action.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Eric, for that quick introduction. As you just mentioned, I'm going to dive deeper inside of the product here. And really, a couple things I want to state before I kind of dive deeper. First off is the idea of every minute matters, right? So this matters on a couple fronts. On the IT team side or your security team side, we want to make sure that we're able to give them an idea of the maliciousness of an email in a rapid fashion and be able to triage that correspondingly. And finally, the other big piece is we really want to provide user feedback on what they reported. Now, what we often see is organizations that don't have the time or the resources to provide feedback to their users on reported emails. And what it does, it basically discourages users from reporting in the first place because they feel like they're basically sending an email off to a black hole. So we want to make sure we give them a timely response, let them know they're doing a good job and being part of the solution. And another thing, going back to that every minute matters theme, is basically the highest cost of running a cybersecurity awareness program is not the particular solution you're purchasing, but actually the time you're taking away from the daily activities of your employees to complete training, and also the time your IT team or security team are spend managing the platform or triaging the email. So that time rapidly comes up. So we really want to help automate as much as possible to get you to focus on the important areas. So starting off with this main dashboard, we can see highlights from the last 30 days, starting off with a number of emails reported. So in this month, we've had 23. As of right now, that stands as a 51% decrease compared to the last 30-day period. Then we can see the percentage of automatically actions emails. So we're sitting at 78. Keep in mind, this is just a demo environment, but usually a well-tuned analyst, once it's been set up, you've been using it for a month or two, we'd like to see them in the 90 to 95% range in terms of automatic reaction. Manually action, pretty straightforward. If you've taken any sort of manually action, that will be tracked here. Then if we look at the bottom right, we've got basically an email score breakdown. So how this works is we score every email that comes in from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest likelihood of it being a phish. So what that brings us back to is basically this widget up top here. So high confidence phishes, we would deem those in terms of the emails that score between 7 and 10. Then we get the reporting activity, so I can see which days of the week I'm getting the most amount of emails reported. You know, that could either be cyber criminals are targeting your organization more on those days, or maybe it is that your employees are more vigilant on those days and actually reporting emails. Then we get a breakdown that kind of into squares of some of the actions we've taken, and the sizes corresponding to the amount that we've sent out. So, for example, sending email templates, that's the little pieces of feedback that we'll send back to the user. Then we've got tagging emails, right? So we'll tag emails, for example, if we think they're spam, if they're high confidence phishes, if they were using a CEO impersonation tactic. Then we've got reward user. So we do have the functionality, kind of like we do for when users report phishing simulations. We'll be able to reward users for emails they've reported. And this really helps drive engagement, letting them know they're taking proper action, and really helps drive that report rate at the end of the day. You can also decide, in which conditions you want to reward people. When we are helping our customers implement the product, we do recommend that they reward for each email that's reported, and over time, kind of decrease that where you're maybe just rewarding for actual phishes being reported. We can also forward it off for review to any specific user email address. And I see here there's one section where we deleted an email. Then we've got some trend lines. Basically, I can, for example, look at this over the last 12 months, see the lowest phish score that we've received, what's our average, and what's our highest phish score. And then finally, in terms of analyst performance, right? So how many emails are we getting reported? That'd be the black line. Brown line is how many have we automatically actioned, and then red would be the amount manually actioned. I'll move over into configuration. I really want you to get a good understanding before I kind of dive deeper into the other sections, what feedback to the user can look like. So we have basically what we call snippets, and these are all little stackable pieces of information. So for example, if it was a CEO impersonation email, we'll get some information about that. And all of these pieces can be edited, or you can create your own. So for example, let me just pick a couple here. So if our artificial intelligence machine learning system detected it was likely spam, we can have some information on that. If the user said that they haven't interacted with the email, we'll kind of have a section where it's like, you said you didn't interact with it, but if you did, here's the procedure we'd like you to take. We have a general response in here, but you can modify that to fit your organization's needs. And basically, you can create, for example, if it also came maybe from a free email provider, right? So we know that oftentimes cyber criminals like to use these free email providers to basically send emails from. So that's just another indication, and maybe something we want to educate our users on. At the bottom here, we have tag management. So same idea, you can create your own tags. This is going to be a way for you to triage and detect the emails that are coming in. With that being said, I'll move over to the email feed. This is basically where someone in IT or maybe your security analyst would work out from. So basically all your emails are sent here. I can see this, let me just zoom out a little bit here. See the subject line, who it's from, what category did the machine learning system detect it was in. First one, we know it's spam at 100% versus the one here, we say it's phish at 96%. I can see when it was reported, by who, and then if there's any additional tags that get tagged onto this. I can also see the following email snippets that have been sent out. If we've adjusted the email score, if we deleted the email. I can basically dive deeper into, for example, the message headers. A lot of contextual rules, which I'll cover in a second, can be created off of different match criteria inside of these. I can also get an email preview on most of the emails that have been reported. Okay, here's an example. And I can also provide feedback. Let's say I've analyzed the email and I've detected that, maybe our machine learning result was incorrect. Please take the time to say, yes or no, provide feedback, and that would help adjust our algorithm. Now, in terms of actions, manual actions we can take, I've covered a couple of them, right? So sending email snippets. For example, we also have the functionality, if there was an email that was maybe legitimate, that was reported, we deleted it from the user's inbox. There is a way to basically return that to sender very easily. We have this feature here called Phish Boomerang. So basically what that does is really helpful. So if there is a really good phishing email that's been reported, and you would like to use that email as a phishing simulation template, so it'll basically remove or strip any sort of malicious content, basically just keeping the images and text, and that would live inside of your phishing template library. So you can use that for further campaigns. I can tag emails, adjust email scores. I can report an email to Microsoft Defender, right? So if you'd like to do that for each and every email, we'd go to the rules section. We create a rule where it says any email that comes in, basically report it to Microsoft Defender. I can remove an email from the analyst, so that completely wipes any track of that particular email inside of the tool. If somebody reported an email with sensitive data or client data, and it probably shouldn't have landed here in the first place, that would be the way to do that. I can delete the email from the user's inbox. And then I've got basically this purge and delete functionality that Eric touched upon earlier. Well, basically we have an integration with your Office 365 environment. We look through all your users' inboxes to see if that email exists in one of those inboxes and delete it. Now going into the rules section, this is where we're talking, remember, about the best of both worlds. So we get the machine learning piece doing its job, but we also want the human aspect. So this is where a security analyst would basically create a rule for each type of tactic they see come in. Now, the bright side of this is the next time the type of tactic comes in, we'll already have a process created for it. So it's not going to be like you're starting from scratch, it's just going to be an automatic process, and you can basically just focus on stuff that's new or that still classifies as unsure. Starting off with really a great rule that we've put in place to help minimize or reduce risk in terms of potential incidents. So it's called user interacted with potential phish. So basically the way it works is when you're using our Outlook button and you go to report an email, there's a couple questions, right? So if the user responded like, yes, I clicked on a link, basically I've interacted with it, and I think it's malicious, we'll tag the email as user interacted. And then we can send off basically this email snippet to the people of your choosing. This could be a couple different individuals that basically get known right away. And those feedback emails are released in a matter of like 5 to 20 some seconds. It's really rapid. So we can let them know like, hey, somebody says they interacted with a potential phish. Please investigate. And the way we kind of structure these emails is really kind of, and it runs in order. So we start off with the legitimate emails up front, right? So for example, let's use this one for an example. Government of Canada. So let's say for whatever reason you're receiving emails from the government of Canada, people are reporting it, and you want to help people provide feedback on that. So basically the match criteria, if the following DKIM signature, the one that actually comes from the government of Canada, so we're verifying it's actually coming from them, we'll overwrite the score, so bring it back down to 1. We know it's not malicious. We'll tag the email, and we'll send the following piece of feedback to the user. So you want to start off with creating legitimate emails. That could be for your payroll providers. Also very beneficial if you're going through any sort of change management process where maybe you're implementing a new product that your users will be notified of. Why not come in, create a rule for it, create a snippet letting them know like, hey, no, this is actually a new product we're implementing. Here's the reason for it. So it's also great in terms of just general change communication. And then we'll dive into the different tactics, right? If it's using a free email provider, if it's a CEO impersonation phish, if it mentions a bonus, if it's a Microsoft 365 password reset type of phish. Those are all the types of rules that you can create. And then basically we'll have at the bottom here, once we've run through our list of rules, basically in terms of scoring, right? So is it a high confidence phish? Is it spam? And what this looks like is pretty straightforward. So if it's great, it scores greater than or equal to 7, we'll tag the email and provide the following piece of feedback to the user. So that's pretty much the analyst in a nutshell. Once again, right, it's about saving time to your security or IT team in terms of email triage, email response back to the user. And really, it's an extension of your awareness program to further help educate your users on the subject. Back to you, Eric.
At every step of the way, CIRA is here to work with you to create, implement, and measure your security awareness program to find the best method that works for your organization to save time, money, and to reduce risk. So if CIRA Analyst is something that you think would benefit your organization, feel free to get in touch with myself. You have my email there, or any of your territory account managers, and we'll be happy to show you more about the product, maybe give you a one-on-one demo, and see kind of how this can really help empower and scale your cybersecurity awareness training program. So thanks for joining us, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.